So season 2 wrapped up as of writing this about a week ago or 2 weeks ago with Asuka's release, and whenever this video comes out, sounds like I'm very late to the party. But hey, that's a price for doing content while being chained by the confines of an internship. I will not let it go, and I will nail it to the coffin until I'm officially done with it, which by the time this video comes out is around July. Back in my fighting games video, I talked about how when the final character comes out, which is, I guess now is Asuka, I wanted to dissect the songs for each and every character, and while to be honest, a part of a role model in a way for making these kind of videos, the great Gecko Squirrel. If you ever see this, say hi please. I would love to meet you and love to talk with you to know and about fighting games, please. Did it. The idea crossed my mind on multiple occasions, and even before he made the video, and I've written the script, and halfway done I saw the video came on and I was like, no, you know what, screw it, I'm not making this. What he wrote is already what I have in mind, and a lot of people already agreed that yeah, that's how the song went, so there's no point in adding my own twist to it. And for the longest time I was thinking, how do I want to make this video, and how do I like, you know, make it my own and not seem like a copy. And then it hits me that, you know what, I might as well wait for season 2, because I put off that idea for so long. And when season 2 started to drop around EVO last year in August with Bridget, right after EVO, and then we got Sin late 2022, and then early 2023 in late March we got Bedman, and then fast forward to late May we got Asuka. I thought this is the perfect time to write it, and I'm pretty sure not a lot of people wrote about it. Now that season 2 wrapped up and season 3 is coming right around August when EVO this year concludes, which is 2023, I think it's golden time for me to revisit some of the songs that not only inspire me to know, and I love these songs, they always bring me back up. It's so amazing and it ignites me with passion, but also jam-packed with all these songs have character in it with it, where each and every song is jam-packed with character that Daisuke probably, I say probably because I know he has a team and everything, but for the sake of ease of language, Daisuke wrote, and with the blessed vocals of Naoki, and I'm pretty sure he's a newcomer in terms of like the Guilty Gear songs, Aisha, for the female vocals. And without further ado, let's start with
Soul Bad Guy.
Soul Bad Guy. Frederick Botsara is a simple man. From his gameplay and plan, his attitude, and his archetype, and even his theme is rather simple one filled with what screams him. Soul is immortal, which means he grew to not give two craps about your day-to-day or any opinions of others of him. This song encapsulates it with the first few lines where it basically claims that you don't want to mess with me and I won't mess with you. You got your opinions and I got mine. It's as simple as that. We might not see eye to eye, but get in my face and my fist will get into yours. Clear as day. His second half of the song is one that screams, which you will tend to see with Strive's OST, where their resolution is at. What struck me out was this one verse of the song, which indicated that Soul also found a place, which is, I'll take the wasteland, but I won't be alone never. Which is a result of his immortality, was that he was pretty much lonely and felt absolutely isolated. That line signifies that he finally found a home. Then the song continued with his philosophy of following his beliefs, let his fist do the talking, and to follow his heart. And in a way, Find Your One Way is also screams Soul, because he is and has always been fond of doing things his way, like Frankie. Because it might not be the best way, but it's my one way and you should find yours. Your one way. Whatever works. And speaking of someone finding his way in the world, we have
Kai Kiske.
Kai Kiske, your other Shoto character, King of Lyria, which is basically King of Europe, a father and a great husband and an honest to God Christian and a fighter. One of these needs to be checked again, I'm pretty sure. Kai is a good man to say the least, but he's not a Boy Scout like everyone ought to call him. He knows and he has committed just as many atrocities, and he knows that he is far from being a good person. His song actually encapsulates that struggle nicely on the second half, but this song is rather hopeful despite the pain and suffering he went through. He decided that not to only devout to be a great king and leader, but to be a prime example of what he thinks is a good person should be. He wants to fill the world with hope and in the words of the song, fill the world with all kinds of bright lights. Kai wants and is a symbol for hope for not only his people but the people around him. A war hero at a young age, he inspires those around. Hell, he even made Soul soften them. Mind you, he is a human being who can and will take down Soul without any issue if he so desires. He's also a great father. Just wish Sin would see the same though I can't blame him given his perspective. If anything, sending him to Soul in his state of mind being fractured was a great move in my opinion. He might not know what the best for the world is, but he finds peace in hopes that he will be the light and guide for people to take example and be even better than him, which in of itself is a hopeful cause. He's a hopeful paragon of heroism. But then we also need to move to our hopeless romantic with
May.
Disaster passion herself, May. May is for the most part a shoujo protagonist with the strength of a shonen protagonist. I mean, look at that angle. And she's also the spawn of her theme, and in a way a part of her is about one thing, which is Johnny. And her song is unapologetically a love song singing about how much she loves him and how determined she is to win his attention despite a few drawbacks. 1. Johnny sees May as a daughter figure along with the jellyfish pirates, and 2. Well, that's the only drawback, but that won't stop our starstruck protagonist from chasing her dreams to be win her surrogate's father's attention and romantic love. I feel like time just stops around me, or is it?
Axel Low.
Axel Low, Zoner, British, and most importantly, the bane of my fucking existence. Jokes about him hard countering every playstyle I ever know aside, he's a man out of time in a literal sense. Time doesn't move him, not like everyone else does, with minor exceptions like Eno. The song talks about his life with this dissonance of time and how it feels the same for him every day and time, while the rest might feel different. But being a rather optimist about it and accepting his situation, he feels like he doesn't need to hold back and enjoy life with the cards he's given. He decided to be true to himself, and this is signified by basically announcing that his password is out of the box, not only to show that he's got nothing to hide, but out of the box could also mean that he is literally out of the box in the sense he doesn't follow the same time rules as say normal people do, or that he is out of the time frame that he's supposed to be in since he is thrust into the future from the past. Despite all that and his theme being the more upbeat one of the time benders, he's rather content with his current life and is there to do his own thing, and that is to annoy the fuck out of me. I need a hard counter for zoners. Oh wait,
Chip Zana.
so I'll save the weirdest character lore and fighting games talk and just go straight to what Chip does. He's the pure rushdown character in the most literal sense of the game. Low HP and defense, high mix-up potential, and high mobility akin to a crackhead. He's all in on that offense, and his philosophy based on the song fits just that on top of the high octane energy that makes you want to go for a jog. You'll find that a lot of Gear to Gear casts has a straightforward message with their songs, and Chip is no exception, albeit in a more literal sense as well. He knows that and claims that life doesn't go how you want, and how he's seen more shit, and that he's is always on guard. But with skill and knowledge, you get through life, which is true, and you shouldn't try to think too hard about it. Take what you got and go to the fucking extremes. He's basically telling everyone to take life head on and just go with it. Go do whatever. Never wait on a miracle, and that's there's always a risk. It's up to you to take it and lose it. Understanding that and preparing becomes less of a gamble, which is a stupid thing to think if you don't prepare. Don't give up and don't get washed out. So get out there and fight like a tiger, walk in the park, fly like an eagle, and soar through the sky. Be free till you die of an arrow grabbed by our next contender.
Potemkin.
Potemkin is a soldier of Zep and a former slave of the former Zep. I purposely wrote that to be confusing Anyways, all country Zep was an oppressive regime, and Pot was one of the slaves who are not only oppressed by them, but was thrown into the first world tournaments to fight justice. Seeing this chance, Gabriel, absolute Chad that he is, saved Pot and used the tournament as a means to not only create a coup, but with Pot's strength overthrowing the regime. His team talks about not only of Zep's past and how much it sucked living there, he also begins to have an existential crisis due to exert and as a soldier. He begins to question how much he's doing is going to last the impact. He begins to doubt himself whether he is an idiot, a clown, even especially after losing to Batman in an embarrassing manner. But he's determined that what he's doing is the right thing, and is aware that one day he will die and grow old and wither. But all he can do now is protect and fight, because a soldier who loses a fight is a second rate, but a soldier who loses himself is a third. But the first rate soldier has always experienced both. And with that, he knew hope was there, unlike our friendly doctor here.
Faust.
Alone Infected is an oddball of a song like our good doctor here, since it's not sung by three different people, figuratively, not literally. It's a mess and fighting for attention, which could symbolize as Faust's many faces, such as the good doctor, Dr. Ballhead, and Faust himself. The phrase Messiah will not come could mean that he once saw himself as a Messiah figure, and in fact was one being a miracle healer who could have saved the girl. It was only due to outside intervention that the girl and the surgery failed, though at the time he was unaware and blamed himself, which drove himself insane and became Dr. Brawlhead. He screamed Tower of Babel could also hammers the fact that he played God trying to save the girl and got struck down by peering too close to immortality, which is what the Conclave was actually worried about. You can sense he's fighting with all of those personality with it coming together at the end, sitting down like it's sitting down and having a conversation. And the song ends with a clear chorus as if saying he can work with all of them together and go forward. While Faust is trying to move forward, we have two characters dead set on the future with Milliard Rage was an assassin trained and raised by Assassin's Guild, which is the organization founded by Slayer and personally trained under Zatar. She lived a life that she never chose to begin with and wanted control over her life. Due to it, she not only hated her life, the Assassin's Guild, but herself. The start of the song is a statement saying that she understands moving forward doesn't mean to completely wipe your past. Whatever she's done and whatever she was a part of her, with the keyword being was, rather simply living with it rather than sweeping it under the rug like her load. And she knows that he can't just throw away what she was so easily in the road to creating the new you. So the song is talking about making peace with it and learning to not only go on but learn to love yourself and in part her subhuman self. With Stripe being that she now works for the government to save the world and such, it's a step forward for her being better and closer to the idea of the choice that she wanted. She now needs to learn to accept herself and love herself. The loving oneself is hard, but you know what else is harder? Loving someone else.
Zato 1.
Zatar is the leader of the Assassin's Guild and was one who trained Milia into becoming a killing machine. He died and was brought back to life, essentially all of his emotion gone. This violence starts to the song with the intro muffle as he fails to communicate with Milia, soon after followed up with the chorus, which is incoherent state of mind and filled with violence, state of no emotions and confusions even, which could also serve as a surface of him as this relentless assassin as well. But get to know him long enough, things start to calm down and you get to see a different side of him. Zato now refers back to Milia for even the time he spent in the underworld and losing his ability to feel. She's the only one being still able to move him emotionally. He asks if there's any way to allow him to go back in time, for his regrets are far too great for him to see a future for himself. If there's no way to go back, he just asks Milia to let him keep helping her, for she's the only reason she has to live now. From one emotionless being to another, we move to
Valentine.
Necessary Discrepancy is one of my favorites in terms of narratives. A soulless like machine slash entity sent by the backyard of Valentine out for destruction of humanity. She ended up learning about and adopting the idea of humanity herself, and one of humanity's strongest attributes is emotions. And this song is her learning to live with it. It started as this language almost alien to the human tongue, accompanied by this techno sense of the audio. It was when Naoki started singing his line in her starting to be in tune with her humanity. The words all describing human nature, which is at first very ugly, but she slowly began to learn that there's two sides of humanity live in symbiosis. Having the negative is as human as with the positive, a necessary discrepancy, since humans are contradicting in nature, right or wrong are blurred. But one thing's for sure is that it's important to feel what it is in the heart. It might be painful, and it can hurt you and hurt others, but in the end of the day, humans are humans with all of its flaws and beauty. We have someone who accepts humanity, and then we have someone who can't accept himself for what he's done. We have
Leo Whitefang.
Hellfire is actually pretty smart in how it's presented, because if you listen, most part of the song, the instrumental for me at least felt louder, and this guitar and powerful bombastic tone, and even the song itself at times could mean Leo's outwardly personality as this king with a proud lion's attitude, acting brave in front of his subjects. The lyric, however, tells a different story of a survivor's guilt of being a war general during the crusade, and it's clear as day that he is not one to accept the fact that he should be the one to survive. And the obvious backturn being a sign that he's better at fighting when he's not facing his problem is beaten to death like his men on the battlefield. He wishes nothing but to end his life, to atone his sins in a fight It's clear as day that he wants to die in the battlefield since it's a sign of honor, and which feels like there's none left in him. He's a broken man who still feels the need to hide it all due to being a larger than life leader, and I generally just want him to be happy. Or nerf him to the ground, fuck his mishaps. Speaking of characters who are annoying to deal with though, we have
Nagori Yuki.
a samurai and vampire, and knightless, and he's all about that grind. This song is mainly talking about who Nago is rather than what's going on in story mode, which is a completely different song that I'm not gonna touch. He's a man who loves to improve himself, and there's nothing much to it. He's basically a samurai or a weed through and through, all while keeping his discipline regarding controlling of his bloodlust, being a knightless, and seemingly still pretty, assuming he's pretty new to being knightless, since he can't control it, like compared to say someone like Slayer. He's out here wanting to have a good. He's just out here wanting to have a good fight, and I can respect that. And you know who else I can respect and look at respectfully?
Giovanna.
Another simple song with a simple meaning, with a simple playstyle. Giovanna is a laid-back, down-to-earth gal who is there to do one thing and one thing only: do her job. She's not out here to make a name for herself, not out here to change the world or anything grand. She's here to do her job and not even think about it if it's possible. She's a trigger, and the people who employ her are the people who point the gun for her to shoot. She doesn't hate her job and that's enough for her. And in a way, she's one of the chillest characters in Guilty Gear since this is the first time she's appeared. This is the best way to tell the audience what and who she is as a character. Out of the new and in with the old, a returning character wishing someone to return is next in the song, and it's about Rock Parade is two things. First half feels like him reminiscing the past before the events of justice, how peaceful Japan was, and the days of peace, it was a simpler time. And the other half is, well, it's about how much he loves Baiken. It's kinda cute, sweet, and how much he wants to help Baiken and make her happy and such. It's just a sip, and I actually love him for it, but you know who needs a bit more love though?
Can you feel the night? Would it be one? It must be bright, like a raging fire.
This song is loaded with so much angst and I love it. This song is about how Ino essentially feels this in and out feeling where because of time and realities and timelines don't move the same for Ino, how it is the rest of other humans and even Axel at times. She often feels there's a disassociation with her memories and what she knows is reality. Happy memories are there, but felt like it didn't happen because of what she saw, which is this bleak future, and she represents the wishes of humanity. Spoilers. She flew so high to ascend to godhood to see everything she could to stop that future from ever happening, but she had to stop when she saw how meaningless and how much meaning was stripped away when you achieve such power. And her final wishes in the song was almost entrusting people like Soul and Kai to make the world a better place, knowing that she is the catalyst or the seed for a new world. And that's kind of depressing in a way, and we need more depression by being a slave to our country. Let's go, season 1.
Louis Dickinson.
Goldick Lewison is the Ministry of Absolute Defense. His team screams power with his size and his fucking coffin swings. God, that coffin swings. His songs is more of an introduction to who he is. Gold Lewis has a very casual and rather down to earth personality like his coworker Giovanna. Him saying it's not a big deal is a sign of that, or it's a fucking coffin with a big alien inside. It's not a big deal. It's just a coffin, an alien. It's not a big deal. It's just my job, you know. However, his team is showing that he's tired, or find his job rather mundane, as he's just a guard dog for the government, whose job is to preserve secrets and silence people for finding them out. It feels rather empty, but he knows that what he does is important, and he's ready despite how it is. God. That's kind of sad. It's kind of boring. I think we need more upbeat. We need more positive energy. We need to call in.
Piping hot, popping like popcorn. It's all mine. Can you hear the bells ding dong?
Jackal.
This is it. This is it.
Perfection can't please me, and this song is a good example. It's not perfect, but I love listening to this song and dancing around like a white dude on a Saturday morning. The song is simple and straightforward despite how incoherent it can seem playing Jackal. Jackal is lit and how incoherent it seems with the song. Jackal is literally just super happy about life and is really looking forward to it and to live the rest of her life with her hubby. Some can say that those are just things that make her happy and just expressions of happiness with random words. And how many miles is a life, and what comes after could mean that they will be living a long time together, a long life together, and grabbing some snacks and new shoes could be just saying buckle up because we're going to have fun. Life has its trials and tribulations, but she realizes that perfection can't please her, nor does it need to. And I know another guy who gives no shits, and everything pleases him just like that. We have
It took me 10 years to find the answer to something I forgot about it in 2 seconds. That's about it.
Chaos.
ADHD the song. Well, that's a gross simplification. Go check it out. Happy Chaos is basically the founder of magic that was driven to insanity at some point in time. He's neither good or bad in the strict sense, but rather he's just pure chaos, hence the name, and he's hella happy about it. His song literally tells the world that everything and nothing interests him. He doesn't give a fuck about what it is that the world has to offer, and yet cares whenever he just feels like it. Makes him kind of special in a way where nothing matters and he's taking it with stride and not to succumb with dread of mindset. He's basically the kind of guy who says life is meaningless while strumming a guitar riff. So awesome. And you know what? Yeah, life's not worth caring about, and you know what? Just do whatever the hell you want and whatever interests you. And we go from not giving a fuck to giving all the fucks. 2 fucks. And my main. Mirror of the Worlds is Baiken's view of the world and about herself, reciting the mantra of light, which is a way of her trying to atone her sins spiritually with a prayer. And in a way, these Japanese verses and overall theming also tie back to her being of her origin in Japan and its Buddhist beliefs. She looks back to her murderous, rage-filled past of revenge and violence. She feels guilt and is weighed down by it all, unable to forgive herself on many occasions, being harsh towards herself. But now, she began to look for a new meaning and cutting away all vexation, swearing that the sword is used to protect with a new sword which is called regret. A sign of her past and trying to move forward beyond revenge and hatred, she vows that her vengeance will become a sacrifice to be better. In a way, the pain to kill the pain, and in a way, if you lose something, you got something to gain, which is the best words I've heard from a fighting game, and that is literally what she said in the trailer and also in one of her dialogues. And I really don't have a transition for the next one, so cut the cue.
Testament.
Testament is many things. They were adopted by Cliff Anderson and has looked up to him as a father figure and a role model even. Dizzy's protector when they finally broke out of Justice's control and saved Dizzy when the village Dizzy lived in tried to kill her and ended up hating humanity as a whole. But as they recount back, Cliff, Dizzy, and even Soul Bad Guy, they finally learn to not only love humanity but find the mundanity in their arcade ending as something to be excited over, like working in the construction and watching B-rated shark movies. It's clear to those three left a big impact on their life, and they will continue to find the fun in humanity, and that is basically the song for Testament. Some people say that the whole using of pronouns thing could also mean testament themselves, but even with Gecko Scroll, I can't decipher what the heck would that mean in regards to testament themselves. But it makes more sense when they recount back of those three people that left a big impact on them. Yeah, I got nothing more on because it's clear, it's very much straightforward. And from this, we're going to go for another song that I am not qualified to talk about, but we're going to talk about it anyway. Let's go. Fuck.
The town inside me and everyone's voice. Only I'm not there, just watching from afar. I can't go home because I'm afraid that something will change. Me without me, I'm the one to blame.
Bridget.
The best way I could describe Bridget's theme is her coming out as a girl after struggling not only to grasp her own identity. Ironically, while I'm writing this, it's in June and the video would be perfect for that month, but someone came in late, so blame Asuka. Anyway, this song is basically Bridget coming to terms that she is a she, and that whatever past that she had and all that superstition about her old town inside of her was debunked the moment she came home as a successful and a great bounty hunter bringing riches to her home. She basically defied all logic, and in a way, she finally came to terms with it, and whatever's coming her way won't change the fact anymore, and she can feel the light as the sun goes down. This song is hard to break down just because, one, I am cis and straight and everything, all that jazz. And that's what I mainly got out of the song. And if anyone that knows anything deeper about the song, even lore-wise, because I would want to say lore-wise, but it feels more like she's going past that her past, rather than, how do I say it? And this is off screen, by the way, because Future Savior's talking here. And if anyone knows better about this song, please by all means drop me in the comments. Sin Kisuke, son of Kai Kisuke and Dizzy. He's a 4-year-old boy, yes, who was raised by Soul, who is his actual biological grandpa, don't tell Soul. His theme Hourglass talks about him being this beaming sunshine of optimism because for all intents and purposes, he's still a kid. He's 4 years old and he's excited to see how the world works. Another simple one like his age, and he knows that whatever it is, whatever path he takes, however the world is, it'll work out. So long as he keeps on trying and he keeps it up, it will work, and just go with whatever he feels. There's not much to his theme that's fine. If anything, it's the most optimistic outlook of all the Guilty Gear character songs, just because he isn't weighed down by this baggage of whatever the rest of the cast is facing. So, in a way, Sin's theme is you just telling that, hey, things will work out one way or another. It may not look like it at times, but it will. Okay? So go out there and keep going, because I'm sure it'll work out, though you know whose life didn't work out though? Oof.
I see the star call. I see the star call.
Bed.
Oh, congrats, Daisuke. You made me care for a fucking bed. A bed. I love my bed, but I didn't think I'd feel absolutely fucking remorse. Holy shit. Okay, with this theme, it's kinda confirmed that we are playing not only as the bed, but we are still playing, and this song is in Batman's perspective. Hence the name Batman with a question mark. The opening of the song and the circle can be seen as two things. It could be of Batman's intelligence being so vast that it's actually incomprehensible and becomes existential. But it can also mean that he is dead, and that is like his soul talking, asking and pondering, which refers to the infinite world and is fighting to comprehend it. And in the line, and then this line, God, do you see the radiant light? Do you hear the beautiful chant? Do you feel the tender warmth? All imageries of heaven and paradise, but immediately he denies it, as all he sees is darkness and nothingness, presumably because he's a sentient Batman. He's in this dark void like a coffin, where it feels endless yet very limited. However, with all of that, one thing that we see in Exart as his motivation, and there's only one thing in his mind, which is Delilah, his sister. He is hell-bent on protecting his sister. In Exart's plot, he went to the extreme lengths to create this world where he can live with his sister, and now in Strive, he does it by being the bed and is at her every beck and call. He admits that he can't ever make her happy and has failed by not only dying but failing to create that world, but now he decided to protect her physically as the bed and dying and will never make her cry again. And that kind of left me a bit have an existential crisis over a bed. But you know who else is having an existential crisis? Asuka is a scholar, Soul's best friend, and a war criminal across multiple countries and centuries. He's also that man, not that man that destroyed a bunch of shit and created chaos, That man is a different man. That man is the man, and this man is also that man. Confused yet? Good. I had an aneurysm writing this and reading this out loud. Fuck everything. And the song Gravity is Asuka talking about all three. He starts out reflecting about him as this divine truth seeker, a scholar thirsting for knowledge, being existential about it all and understanding that what it means in a meaning, and he questions what is acceptable as facts and what is not. Then the song started to shift to being Soul's friend and a war criminal. He clearly doesn't revel on the fact that he's labeled as the demon or that man. And the line as the universe turns to black might refer to when things are its calmest, he begins to think, he begins to ponder. He turns to Soul with the line, did the sun ever defy fate? Because Soul is basically the meaning is sun, and he's the flame of corruption and everything. And it's also best friend. And Soul has always and on multiple occasions defied fate, like saving the world from imminent doom on several events like in Exart and Strive. And then there's on multiple cases where he went to the backyard, he went back in time, killed himself, yada yada yada, all that jazz. And again, that line where the world is fated to be destroyed, as Eno claimed that he didn't give two shits and still saved Jackal. And the saddest part is that he questions beyond all of what he has done, what he's committed. He wonders, does Soul still recognize him as the same old Asuka that he used to be his best friend? He questions, does meaning has a meaning when all of the crimes that he's committed, does it still have meaning that he's still alive? Does him living, trying to atone all of it, is it all enough? And I don't have a clear answer to this, neither does anyone else, and I hope Asuka finds the answer to it. The song is pretty heavy, just like Gravity, and at the end of it he says gravity holds all the answers. In a way, I would interpret as it when everything comes down to it, there's always it always comes back to one center, and we'll find that center eventually. Whew. That's all the Guilty Gear music I tried my best to decipher as of season 2, because season 1 there's already Gecko Squirrel and a bunch of people. Season 3 is right around the corner with Evo coming next month, and at least I can cover season 3 on its own and not have to go to revisit all of this again. And Guilty Gear's music has always struck me as something powerful to listen to and something awe-inspiring to witness, since most of the tracks of the songs are characters taking fate into their own hands and breaking out of their place. There in which is something that I think everyone should strive for, breaking whatever cruel fate that spawned you and taking it by your own hands. And I hope season 3 will bring more cool casts, new, original, or returning, I don't care. It better be cool. And whenever that happens, you can bet I'll cover it all. And since by then I have more free time, I can even give my thoughts on the character on day one, like when they come out, and look forward to that too. And until next time, I hope your heart's still blazing, okay? Take care. Well, if you listen to this far, this is where the part where I completely unscripted and start rambling about not only my current situation, but whatever potential updates that I have in plan in the next week or so. Not when this video comes out, whenever this video records. Whenever this video comes out, that plan probably went already full fruition, or it's halfway done, or it's not even started yet, because I'm a fucking college. I love to procrastinate. Not this thing though. I apparently never procrastinate on this for some fucking reason. Anyways, so as of this video coming out, I should be on my final month of internship. When the video comes out, I should be at least 3 weeks left. I have 3 weeks left of it, and I'm so excited for it to be done. Holy crap. Trying to juggle this is a headache, and one would question, why would you want to do this during your internship when you're busy? This whole thing is my escapism and my way of maintaining my passion for creating, all while still maintaining in an industry or in a workplace that I absolutely detest. I absolutely have no love for it, and oh god, being there is such a fucking pain in my ass. I could go on and on and on and on, but let's say that it's not a very nice experience, and maybe if anyone that listens to this till the end, you could give it a you could have me rant about it once I'm done. I could have a whole entire rant video and put it put it up, and then like if I get potentially sued by the company or something, I'll just put it on unlisted or private. But it's not fun. I really want to rent it out. I really do. But this is not the place for it, because this is a bunch of things. But once it's done, there's a few more projects that I have in plan, written already. Just hasn't I haven't done the arrangements yet to start recording and everything, all that jazz. But you won't see that plan come to fruition until maybe September or October, since August is going to be not only at least early August is where I need to finish my reports. I need to submit all of my work and finish up that monthly video. But the second week of August is where I'll start not only trying to revive my YouTube with more contents that I am planning, with more planned content, but along the way I am also trying to revive my Twitch by streaming more often, and I want to interact with more people. I want to create more, I want to be more active on social media with my drawings. I want to go back to creating weekly drawings that I can, and maybe find a method that I can maintain. And if I'm and by the time this video comes out, I hope I already got my pay, because I'm planning on saving a bit of that money to go to Animangaki on the 25th to 27th of August. So come and say hi. I don't know if I'm gonna join the showcase yet, since I don't have a budget for it. If I have extra cash lying around from my internship pays, I might do it, but until then I'll update it manually. And I guess if I were to reflect on the last video, which is kind of unfair because it's only been 2 weeks out by the time I'm recording this, the video still blew my expectations away. Even though it did less than, say, like the first two, Arknight's video and the Fate video still did run relatively how I expected, because the video topic itself is not that new to anyone. It's not really something to click on, and it's probably something returning viewers would probably only know. And this fighting game one is about the same, but I'm feeling a bit more proud and more confident, because it's not only season 2 wasn't covered as much of the songs, and it's not something, while it's still something that people have already covered a bunch of times. See, the season, I'm betting on the season 2, and how I wrote this is how I tried my best to not only try gathering around a bunch of opinions, but also try to understand from my side and how I understood the lore and everything. And I hope you enjoy it. And I guess final words to say out of this all rambling is thanks for listening to the ramblings, and hey, look forward to the next project. If it's not gonna come out, if there's nothing coming out in the next few weeks, then you can just expect the next month's video, because wherever is in between the weeks is whatever I can get. I don't like that method, but it's the one I have to go with as of now. Thank you.